Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Wednesday. It's Daryl here. It's bright and freaking early, man. You know it. It's 3:30 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Okay, I ended up making a second video yesterday. I haven't downloaded it yet. I'm probably going to tag it on to the end of this video. This video might be rather short, maybe 5 minutes, and I'll probably tag yesterday's video on to the end of that. Yesterday's video, I just hit a low point. I had a bad day, and a lot of it has to do with just stuff going on in my life, but a lot of it had to do with what happened in Nashville. So one thing I realized, if you guys remember, 2 policemen being killed here in Bristol not too long ago, I realized that this doesn't just affect families and friends. This affects the whole country when stuff like this happens. I remember the feeling in the whole area, not just the city, but the whole area the day after. And I realized that it sucks. It sucks the life out of the entire country. It really does when these things happen. With this thing in Nashville, this school, I'll call it an incident. I have to be careful how I phrase things here. It happened 2 days ago, and I'm not even sure. I wasn't even sure what to say about it. I didn't have any new suggestions. How many times have I come on here? At least 6 or 7 in the last 5 years, 6 years since I've been. At least. You know, and I'm just running out of things to say. I don't know what to say anymore. This morning, as soon as I turned on, started looking at news stories, I came across a Rolling Stone article about Tim Burchett, a Republican lawmaker from Tennessee. And he kind of, I hate to say this, but he kind of said what I was thinking. We're not going to stop it. You know, that's basically what he said. You know, it's like if people want to, if mentally challenged people want to hurt other people, they're going to do it. And he's pretty much admitted that lawmakers, they're not going to do anything about it. And that's kind of how I felt. I hate to sound like I gave up, but the thing that bothers me the most is that I think the biggest, for me, this is my opinion, semi-automatic weapons are made to chew up human bodies as fast as possible. That's their mission. That is what they're good for. Let's face it, my father collected guns. I've talked about this numerous times. I grew up around guns. My father had me shooting guns. He didn't own one semi-automatic weapon. I thought about this. Not one assault-style weapon. Not one. He had old weapons, Argentine Mauser, 303, all sorts of shotguns, 41 Ruger Magnum, 41, 357, all sorts of them, but not one assault-style weapon out of like 30 or 40. I thought about that. Why? Maybe just because he really actually was a hunter. Here in Connecticut, assault-style weapons have been banned since right after Newtown, with good reason. And there hasn't been any, tell you what, I'll have links for this down below, there hasn't been any school shootings here in Connecticut in the last 10 years, since they've been banned here in Connecticut. My biggest issue is there's so many of these things now that what can you possibly do about it? And then there's the states and the people that just will never ban it. I started thinking this morning, how many kids is it going to take? You know, 100? Are we going to have to? Then I started thinking about one of the biggest things that affects me is seeing the policemen that go into these situations and what they actually see with their eyes when they see these bodies torn up, just kids, and you see the look in their eye after they see this. They are never the same. And if you picture that for a moment, you'll understand why. They are never the same. Here in Newtown, in the Newtown area, there's been suicides because of this. That people just couldn't live with what they saw. Is that what it's going to take? Is that what it's going to take for the country to do something? Maybe we should show the actual pictures of what's happening inside these schools. You know, see the horror. Is that what it's going to? Really, is that what it's going to take for some of these things to be banned? You know, and I know what's the answer to this? This morning I saw an article. Here's another new Republican idea. Pop-up collapsible shelters that pop up in the schoolrooms, safe rooms. You know, then there was bulletproof backpacks, good guys versus bad guys with guns. You know, we've heard all them. You know, and honestly, I'm running out. That's why I just hit a point yesterday where I didn't know what to say anymore. It's just, every time this happens, it sucks. I don't know if it's just people with empathy, people that actually can empathize with other people, that it affects like this, or if it affects the whole country, they just, maybe some people just don't know it, but it sucks the life out of the entire country every time. It doesn't just affect that group, that little area like Nashville or Newtown or whatever. It affects the entire country. It sucks the life out of the entire country, especially when you're talking about kids. And this is just, it's slowly killing the country. It really is. I tried to count, you know, how many kids have been lost since Newtown. And I couldn't even, because they happen so often, I couldn't find an updated number. Yeah, I just don't know what to say anymore. Oh, here's an interesting thing too. Tim Burchett, the Republican lawmaker from Tennessee, you know, we're not going to do anything. We can't do anything about it. Here's something interesting. I'm going to include this clip. I'll put this clip right on top too. There's also a clip of him saying that, dadgummit, we're just not going to stand for it anymore. We're not going to have this in Tennessee. Except he's talking about transgender people, the LGBTQ community. Apparently, when it comes to drag shows, they're damn well going to do something about it. But when it comes to kids being lost in schools every year all around the country, we'll never do anything about it. That's Tim Burchett's attitude. Here, all right, I'll probably tag on yesterday's video. I got to warn you, it's pretty, I'm in a black mood these last couple of days. I just don't know what to say anymore. Have a good Wednesday. Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Tuesday. It's Darryl. Happy Tuesday. It's Darryl here. It's not so bright and early, 7 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Okay, everybody has a bad day. Just today I was thinking a little bit about Diablo Immortal, about a video he did. I'm not doing great. And usually I feel great. You know, I usually have a very optimistic attitude, and today is one of those days. I didn't even bother cleaning myself up after I just got back from a 1-hour walk in the cold rain here in Connecticut, and I'm going to share some of my thoughts with you guys this morning. I hope I don't bring you down, but I got to be honest. I call this my confessional, my confessor, my my counselor sometimes, this YouTube channel, and today it is. Let me start with Audrey, my girlfriend that passed away 18 months ago. And let me tell you guys, if you've, I'm sure you've all lost somebody. It never gets easier. The guilt. I felt like I had so much more time to straighten things out with her, and now I can't. Now I can't. I've been having dreams about her. I haven't told anybody this. I've been having dreams about her every single night for like the last 2 weeks. On top of everything, I just got this. I got her AARP card. Just pulled it out of the mail 2 minutes ago. It's one of those days. All right, let me tell you guys. First of all, in the last video, I talked about how I wanted to make this video about Aaron Hernandez. Actually, about Aaron Hernandez's brother. I'll put the link to this down below so you can get the whole story. But if you remember Aaron Hernandez, he was a tight end for the Patriots. He got arrested for homicide. Once he was convicted, he ended up doing away with himself. I got to be careful how I phrase this. I made a mistake in the last video. It was in 2017. I guess lately his brother's been having a bit of a hard time with it. And this is right in my local area. This was on TMZ, the story. The ESPN headquarters is right down the street from where I live here. Bristol Hospital, where they put his brother, DJ Hernandez, where they put him in for psychiatric evaluation, is right around the corner. He's probably getting out today. He's probably just walked past. I wouldn't be surprised if I just walked past him on the street. I was going to talk about that. I was going to talk about the need for mental health crisis in this country. Then I started thinking about what happened in Nashville. I didn't even know what to say about it. What do we even say about that now? It happens with such frequency. I was seeing I saw an article that there was 182 mass murders this year. And I think there's been less than 90 days in this year so far, 182. And this is when everything it's one of those days where my optimism has run out. I believe in the right of people to defend themselves and their families. I grew up with weapons. My father had me shooting weapons when I was younger. I don't see an answer for this. There's more guns than there's people on the streets. There's so many out there right now. What will they do? What could they possibly do about it at this point? I think we made our beds and we have to lie. We have to lie in them, unfortunately. At this point, I just don't know what to say. I think there should be background checks. I think people with mental health issues should not be allowed, especially domestic violence. It should not be allowed to get weapons. But the problem is it's still, there's just so many of the damn things everywhere in families and homes that anybody that really wants to get one can still get one. And they always will be able to. I don't have an answer for these things today. I don't even have an opinion. All I have is pessimism. The glass is half empty. Hell, the glass is empty right now. And on top of everything, I just saw a news report this morning that the suspect in the Nashville school incident, 3 adults, 3 children killed. The suspect is transgender. I just saw this on the ABC News. So I started thinking about this. People like Marjorie Taylor Greene, Trump, Tucker Carlson, they're going to be all over this. To avoid any talk about gun control, they're going to make the LGBTQ community the scapegoat for this. I see the country dividing apart more and more with these radical laws that they're passing in places like Texas, Florida, Wyoming, about banning books and banning these procedures. And it really seems like the country is getting distinctly red and blue more and more. Like we are getting more and more divided. And then, like I've talked about in other videos with Donald Trump in 2024, his rhetoric already, win or lose. I don't see a very good, I don't see a good outcome for our country in 2024. I'm sorry that this, I don't have answers. I don't have any suggestions. I don't have any opinions. I just have a big black cloud over my head today. Here's something to top it all off. I'll see if I can find the link for this down below. A lot of times they have a hard time, they look for asteroids and planet killers that are flying about up in space to be, I don't know if we can actually do anything about them if we spot them, but they're on the watch for them. And they have a particularly hard time spotting the inner ones, the ones that are going inside the Earth, inside the Earth's trip around the sun. Because the sun glares and they have a hard time spotting these. And they just spotted one, or 3 actually. But one in particular has a good chance, a planet killer, a good chance of being in the Earth's path in 8 years. It's a possibility of the end of the world in 8 years to top everything off today. I'm sorry that it's a Black Tuesday for me, but sometimes, I can't cover these things up. You guys have a good Tuesday.